the stream, I asked him if he remembered CFD token, Richard's first ideal for a token that he publicly talked about. And so you got into HEX, you got in 2020, 2019?
I got into HEX in January of 21.
January 21. Okay. So this was, there's a great interview with Doug Polk about 4 years ago, if you search YouTube, where Richard explains the details of CFD token. But essentially, Richard, history lesson here, since I've been following him since 2017. He had an idea to work with this scientist gentleman named David. And there was an interview with him he did a while back too, to explain all the technical details. But to create a CFD token, computational fluid dynamics, that's what it stands for. And it was sort of meant to, from what I remember, to solve some of these scientific problems. Sort of, if anyone remembers there's like a whole bunch of coins that are meant to solve problems, like solve scientific stuff. So like putting the work towards solving these, complex calculations instead of just proof of work specifically. I think that was the case for it. So yeah, he talked extensively about it for a while, and that was probably maybe end of 2017, early 2018. And then he just sort of stopped talking about it. And we didn't hear much about it anymore. I think the website's still up. I think if you search Google for cfdtoken.com or .net or something, it's still up. But interestingly enough, like there was a token before HEX almost. There was definitely a design. He talked about it in detail. That was going to be the token he was going to launch. And then, something changed. Maybe, he figured out it was too hard. I think he did address it a little bit later on. Maybe he was like, oh, it was just too hard. We just couldn't do it in time and launch and all this stuff. And then he went on to HEX, and just all you heard is HEX after that. But I'm always curious, I know a lot of people don't know that story because they weren't around, back then. But I wonder if HEX would have even launched had CFD token went forward. Would we even had this product? Would CFD token launched? It took all of Richard's time and all of his energy and his ideals, and HEX would have never came along, or would he got through with it and just like he did PulseChain, say, hey, now I want to create blockchain CD and go on. I don't know. What do you think, Matt? Do you think HEX would still exist if CFD token went forward?
I mean, Richard's an innovator, right? So he wants to win. So obviously, a lot of people could have just rested on the laurels of HEX, right? And said, hey, I'm rich, I did it, I'm a goat, and right off into the sunset. But I think there's a lot of boredom in being wealthy. A lot of people think the destination is becoming wealthy and rich, and once I have that, it's everything's perfect. But there's a lot of miserable people that are rich and wealthy, and money doesn't solve everything. So that's why you kind of see a lot of people that end up dying after retirement because they've lost their purpose, they lost their motivation, and what really drives them. And I think Richard's driver is recognition and being right and glory. So for him, I think he just started. So had he launched that token before HEX, HEX is such a great concept and idea, and now a real working product. I can't imagine him not releasing HEX, just like he's releasing PulseChain and PulseX, and now from what I understand, there's going to be a wallet, and who knows after that. So I think he's an innovator, and he's looking for the next best thing.
There will be another SAC this year, I suspect. He took a few months off from the SAC deal, but sounds like there's a wallet coming out, and especially if PulseChain launches this summer, I can't imagine there being another launch. He's probably already got people working on the wallet now.
I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised.